Hello everyone, and welcome to the Kalispell Warhawk Dynasty, as the Warhawks return home ranked number 4 in the country, and they continue Mountain West play against the Air Force Falcons. The Warhawks are one of the most dominant teams in college football this season, and they're coming off a 30-9 victory over New Mexico. They hope to stay unbeaten as they meet the Falcons, whom they are 5-0 all-time against. It's time to begin Week 8, and Jeff Childs gets us underway in Kalispell, Montana. This is returned from the end zone by Parker to the 20, and he's met with Brandon Warren on kick coverage. I'm not sure that's what we're supposed to be doing out there. But it's Falcon football, and our prime concern this week is their flexbone offense and their talented backs and quarterback Doug McDonald. They average 323 yards per game on the ground, the best in the country. And here they open on first down with the flexbone formation, the flip to Corbett, and a good run for 9 yards. This is not a very fun offense to try and prepare for, and it takes a real team effort to stop it as Chris Jones gets room up the middle and rumbles ahead for 15. Almost all of their plays will involve some form of triple option. Here is McDonald wrapped up by Evans. But they can bring receivers in motion, they can go whichever direction because the formation is balanced. You never know where it's going to be. On 3rd and 6, McDonald wants to take off and he won't escape the pocket. He's sacked by Alex Hardy. Here is your Kalispell offense, opening the day in the deep shotgun. This looks more like a wildcat formation as Warren fakes the sweep and dumps it off to Bo Lee, who's wide open, hits the brakes, then accelerates across the 50. 21 yards to Bo Lee to start the day. Brandon Warren left last week's game with an injury, but he is 100% for today's game as Thomas gets the carry all the way outside. He's to the 30 and fights ahead down to the 26. It's a gain of 19, and Thomas began last week's game with a fumble and didn't really get to play very much. Here is Terrence McKinley up the middle, who gets 5 yards. He is Kalispell's best back in terms of ball security. Warren now keeping on 2nd down. Cuts inside, gets a block from Hayden John Charles, and it's a gain of 13. Warhawks in the red zone. They bring Joyce in motion. Fake. Warren floats it back in the end zone. Touchdown, Hayden John Charles. Look at this start for Kalispell. Much better than a week ago when they started very sluggish. They add some new wrinkles this week, and they are proving to be effective. 7-0 as the Falcons take over again, and they'll throw it now. It's a catch made by Brandon Jackson for a gain of 9. This time it's a more standard formation. They give it to Whitworth, who gets past Harrison and accelerates into the 2nd level. Whitworth has elite speed and elusiveness. Following a gain of 15, handoff off tackle. Whitworth is leveled. That's Shannon Evans. He is such an important part to defeating these ground games. 3rd straight carry, A.J. Whitworth into a pile. And grinding out 6 yards, he makes it 3rd and 3. One of the keys to this offense is 3rd and shorts, and now they back up with a false start. On 3rd and 3, they can run option. Now, they're basically forced to throw it. McDonald to scramble. He's sacked again. This drive ends thanks to Chris Harrison. Kalispell putting together a much better first quarter than a week ago as Belafonte comes in motion. He gets the sweep. Can't quite turn the corner, but does get 8. Both teams run option in very different ways as Warren runs out to his right, flips it for Thomas. It's a loose football and scooped up by Riley. No one will catch him. Air Force ties the game. Big miscue for Kalispell as it negates their good start. We see Warren try to flip it, and it's just a little offline. Air Force ties it at 7, and the Warhawks will take over again. Now they'll just safely hand it off, and Kyle Thomas up the right side. He's got the 1st down, gain of 13. 34 yards already for Thomas. As from the shotgun, Warren will keep this one and slides ahead after a 5-yard gain. Warren here in the 3-wide formation on 2nd down. Blitz is sent, and the unblocked defender's there. It's a loose football. Air Force recovers this one as well. Another takeaway. The Falcons getting a big swing of momentum as this ball is ruled a fumble. Again, Kalispell can't come up with it. What an opportunity here for the Falcons, as McDonald will keep this one. Big block in the secondary. First down, Doug McDonald to the 11-yard line. It's a gain of 22. Already 7 tackles on the day for Shannon Evans, as McDonald this time is stopped, and that is Wesley Merrill. Again from the flex bone. Now a throw. McDonald to the end zone. Touchdown, Thomas Parker. He beats Malcolm Tyson, who tends to have some really awkward plays at times. Too often he lets receivers easily get behind him. And Air Force now takes the lead. After Kalispell looked awesome in the first few minutes, they bring a big blitz now, and Warren was ready for it as he dumps it off to John Charles for 7. But they've got to avoid the turnover now. 2nd and 3, Warren across the middle, breaking tackles and losing yardage in the process is Hayden John Charles. Mike Harris, the motion man here on first down. The give goes to Troy Lee, who played extensively a week ago. He'll get about 5. On to the second quarter now. 3rd down, Brandon Warren. 4 on the rush. Warren now chased outside the pocket. Coverage still holding up. Warren up the sideline. He gets a couple, but that is another stop for the Air Force defense. The Falcons are settling into this game and are looking pretty good. Jones up the middle. Big stiff arm on Hayes, and a big hit at the end by Chris Harrison. Flex bone look, 2nd down. McDonald hesitates, now flips it, and Corbett's going to lose some yardage here, setting up a 3rd and 6. This is more of a passing situation, and Kalispell brings the rush. Short throw, complete, and Roberts sheds a tackle. That's enough to move the chains. Kalispell making too many unnecessary errors right now. Roberts the motion man as McDonald keeps it on the outside. Breaks the tackle of Butler. Bounces off another and lost the football. It's scooped up by Triplett. Kalispell now gets the takeaway. We'll have to watch this one back. This was very close to the sideline. It's Hayes who knocks it free, and the recovery is in bounds by Triplett. What a play for Kalispell. They take over and go straight to the ground with Kyle Thomas on the counter. Gain of 11. 2 tight ends on the field for Kalispell. 3 on the rush. Warren still getting chased to his left with good coverage, and they spied him so he couldn't run. This is excellent defense by Air Force. Here's Warren back in the Wildcat as he keeps it running to the right, and he is hammered behind the line of scrimmage by Trey Riley. Again, this Air Force defense is making plays. 3rd and 13, again they only send 3. Warren gets outside, heaves it deep to the end zone, and Finley makes the catch! Touchdown, and this game is tied. All Warren did here was throw it up and hope for the best. Finley is able to locate the football and stop just in time. Great play for a receiver who's trying to climb up the depth chart, and for Air Force to be playing as well as they did. And then to have that fumble and that touchdown, that is tough. 14 apiece as McDonald keeps again and runs for about 10 yards. So far, we are seeing this ground game have some success. McDonald now again hesitating, and he's wrapped up on the play by Leak. And that brings up another 3rd and long. The key to these offenses is consistency, and they've had some bad plays. 3rd and 12 now for McDonald. Here's a deep shot, and it is incomplete for Roberts. Coverage by James Hampton. The Warhawks again take over. They have 4 receivers on the field here. Flag on the play as Thomas carries and finds some daylight. Out across the 40, and that's a big first down if it stands. And it will. It was offsides on Air Force. Here's Warren now looking for a quick throw. Delivers in the flats to Carl Joyce, and that's not going to get very much. Still, this offense is trying to find their rhythm once again. 3rd and 5. Warren, quick strike to Amonte Jones. Working his way inside the 5 with his strength. It's a gain of 26. Warhawks facing 1st and goal. 3 receivers in the game. Warren floats one up in the end zone. Caught by Mike Harris for the touchdown. Warren must have learned something watching Justin Colbert a week ago with the back shoulder fade he threw to Amonte Jones. They go with a similar idea here and just create space for Harris, and he makes the play. The Warhawks are back in front, 21-14 here in the second quarter. McDonald fakes it, and he'll throw it downfield, and that's caught by Jackson. That was a dangerous pass that could have been intercepted by Alex Hardy. To the I formation now, and Whitworth gets the delayed give, and there's a wide open lane. A.J. Whitworth, 15 yards. We're seeing them change up their formations a lot more than I expected. McDonald again tries the keep, and he's met by Anthony Owens, who's coming off the best game in his career. Third down now for the Falcons. McDonald chased left, now throws it to the flats for Porter, and he won't get much here at all. This will be a long field goal try if they attempt it, and they will. 51 yards on the way. It is no good, and Kalispell will take over and begin a 2-minute drill. The Warhawks have scored 14 unanswered. Here's Warren to the air. Pressure gets through the middle, and he's wrapped up for the sack. Air Force has not had an issue generating pressure today. 3rd and 18 here for Warren. And he'll step up, runs through a defender, buying some extra time, pump fakes, now unloads, and Mike Harris is there! The scramble drill works to perfection. I thought the play was over right there, but Warren breaks the tackle, and he shows off the electrifying skill set that's made him such an impressive freshman. Warren on first down, he's going to the ground. Another unblocked defender. Kalispell needs to limit the hits on Warren. We saw what that did a week ago. 3rd and 10 now. Another shot downfield. Warren for John Charles. It's a touchdown. 34 yards. Hayden John Charles has only played for 1.5 seasons, and he might be the best tight end to ever play for Kalispell. He is that good. 28-14. Now Kalispell is building up a lead before the half. McDonald, though, not finished, and he's intercepted. It's James Hampton, and we're not done here. Kalispell takes over in Air Force territory. They got a couple timeouts. 16 seconds for Warren. Working left, throws it short. There's Harris. Wrapped up, gain of 9. Timeout. 10 seconds to go, as Kalispell could definitely make this a shorter field goal try. Warren doesn't want the field goal. Going deep, it's John Charles! Touchdown Warhawks! That's the 3rd on the day for John Charles, and the 5th for Warren in the first half, which ties the Kalispell single game record. What a half of football we've had today. We've had some really big momentum swings, and this first half is going to end on a deep throw by McDonald that is intercepted by Shannon Evans. It looked for a while like Air Force might take control of this game, but all it took was a couple plays that were unlikely to make, but Kalispell made them, and now they lead by 21. It's been a season full of surprises, and perhaps that first half was the most surprising half of football this season. Kalispell is putting on a show in front of some of the top recruits on their board, including Jamie Alexander and Joaquin Ferreira. I hope they're enjoying the action here in Kalispell, and maybe one day they'll put on the blue and green. Kalispell will start the second half with the football, and here's Marty Belafonte out across the 50. He's a playmaker. 55-yard return and another short field for this red-hot offense. Warren starts running option, and he'll flip it successfully to Kyle Thomas, who turns up the sideline and picks up 18 yards. They have ran the ball really well today. They'll hand it off again to Thomas. Out to the right, gets a block. Good job by Jones. Thomas to the 5, into the end zone. Another touchdown for Kalispell. This was once a 14-7 game. It's now 14-42 in favor of Kalispell. Doug McDonald in this offense has a lot of work to do, and now they can't really run their preferred style of offense. 3rd and 10, McDonald deep and picked off by James Hampton for the 2nd time. Hampton makes a defender miss. Across the 50, redirects and is wrapped up. Kalispell is taking complete control of this football game, and it's fun to watch. Brandon Warren needs just one touchdown pass to break the Kalispell single game record, and he's got all kinds of time, but no time on this play. Sacked by Alex Salyer. Kalispell now on a 3rd and 23 as they set up a screen for Kyle Thomas. Big block by Andy Corbett, and Thomas across the 40, he gets the first down. That was their chance to get a stop, and they couldn't do it. 2nd down now for Warren, steps up to avoid the pressure, takes off with room. Brandon Warren out of bounds, gain of 17. This is just incredible to watch. Harris in motion, here goes Warren out to his right now. Throwing for Jones, good catch, and he'll lose some yardage in the process, but it's a gain of 10. What is this? The monster package now for Kalispell. Quick screen, Carl Joyce to the goal line, and ruled down at the 1. Warren nearly breaks the record, and now it's 1st and goal. Play action, Warren floats it, and wide open is Bo Lee! Welcome to the record book, Brandon Warren. 6 touchdown passes, and look at how much time is on the clock today. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe Marquise Walker and J.R. Battle each had 5 on one occasion. Warren just got 6 in a very strange game. It's now 49-14 as McDonald is picked off once again. That is 4 straight possessions with an interception by Doug McDonald. Kalispell has already gone to their backups midway through the 3rd quarter, as that was Statue of Liberty for Marty Belafonte. Following a short gain, Justin Colbert, the quarterback. Good coverage now as he escapes the pocket and throws the ball away. There's a stop for Air Force. Air Force played some good football in that first half, but they've let everything get away from them. Here is a catch made by Parker as Air Force crosses the 50 again. This is a great opportunity for many players we don't see all that often as Roberts makes the catch, and he will run inside the 20. Now Air Force finding some success again on offense. They'll bring Brock in motion. McDonald pitches it. Good hit. And the football's free and recovered by Mario Townsend. The Warhawks take over again thanks to that hit by Michael Hunter. Even the backups are making plays now. 49-14 Warhawk football. As Dustin Payment pitches this, Marty Belafonte gets some room to run. Across the 50, unleashes the spin move. Belafonte inside the 25. He's fun to watch, isn't he? 49 yards. And just think, he is the number 4 running back on this depth chart. Dustin Payment is also the 4th quarterback as he rolls out to his left and throws a strike to Reggie Jackson. Very nice play. Kalispell also running clock already in this 3rd quarter as Belafonte falls forward and nearly breaks the plane. Belafonte is running really well. On 2nd down, he gets it again, and he'll find the end zone this time. Touchdown, Marty B. Kalispell breaks 50 with over a quarter to play. They've also scored 49 unanswered points. Doug McDonald on 1st down, he ends up sacked, and that's Mario Townsend. Just look at all the playmakers we have that can't even get regular playing time, as that play is made by Xavier Bozeman. A competitive game at one time has turned into maybe the biggest blowout in Kalispell history. Here's a pitch again to Belafonte, and this time he's held to only a gain of 4. 5 of 7 on 3rd down as Payment will keep this one. He can run nowhere near as well as Warren, but he does run with some power and gets 4. The Warhawks now use a timeout, and coming into the game is number 15, Bo Lee, who was a high school quarterback. Lee takes the direct snap up the right side. He gets a block into the secondary. Are you kidding me? Touchdown, Bo Lee! 51 yards. 51 of the most incredible yards I've ever seen out of a Kalispell player. Bo Lee finally gets a chance to play some quarterback, and he makes a play he'll remember forever. And the blocking was outstanding for Kalispell. It's now 63-14. Air Force again has to give up the football as Marcus Payne now takes this punt to work all the way to the boundary and makes a good move to get across the 50. It seems anybody Kalispell will give the football will make a play today. Bo Lee continues to play at quarterback now, sprinting outside the pocket, across his body, nearly throws the first INT since high school. On second down, Lee will run some option now and keep it and get about 3 yards. So just a few more minutes to go in this one. Third down, Bo Lee. He'll float one for Belafonte, and this pass is broken up. And on fourth down, it appears Kalispell will just go for it. Might as well give these players some reps. Here's Lee again outside the pocket, sets his feet and finds Justin Payne. There you go, 28 yards from Bo Lee, who has a rushing and receiving touchdown in this game. Lee will keep it one more time, and a good tackle is made, gain of 3. 3rd and 11 here for Kalispell, and Lee hands it to Marcus Payne for a couple yards, and they'll bring on the field goal team. This one's about over. What a week of Kalispell football. 66-14 is your final. Warhawks victorious. Brandon Warren makes history with his 6 touchdown passes in just 2.5 quarters. The Warhawks at one time trailed this game and they had some issues, but I've never seen a game quite like this. They ended up scoring 59 unanswered points. We did so much well in this game, from those deep balls to the running game and the defense getting all those takeaways. It was so much fun. Every now and then we get a game like this where everything just goes right and it's incredible. But I think this one might be the best victory of all. It's certainly the largest blowout, and I believe it's the most points that Kalispell has ever put on the board. Kyle Thomas, by the way, got his first career rushing touchdown, ran for over 100 yards in the process. Hayden John Charles, 3 scores, 91 yards. I think Hayden John Charles is going to be in the running sometime in his career for the Mackey Award, which goes to the best tight end in college football. The Warhawks do not improve in the polling this week. They will continue to stay at number 4. And we really do not have a difficult schedule the rest of the way. I'm actually beginning to think about when this team should move to the Pac-12, because that's where I want this team to ultimately end up. And I'll have to seriously consider that maybe as soon as this offseason. Here are the Heisman votes so far, and there are a couple players here who are interesting. Of course, Jesse Heikkinen, but then a fullback from Auburn, Jess Lewis. Now, Lewis has earned his way to the top 5 here as the only non-quarterback, because he's ran for over 886 yards and 12 touchdowns already. He's 6 foot 257 with good enough speed for that size and so much power. That is the skill set of Brandon Jacobs from the Giants a few years ago. Then there's Jesse Heikkinen, who had his sophomore season ended by an injury very early, and this year he has 23 touchdowns and not a single interception, with 5 more touchdowns on the ground. Next week, the Warhawks will take on the Boise State Broncos as they hope to stay unbeaten. With all the ways we can attack defenses with our talented offense, we are such a tough team to beat, especially because our secondary can make all kinds of plays, our linebackers are rangy. We just have the most complete team, and I never even knew it this offseason. I did not expect anything like this, and it wasn't just the addition of Brandon Warren. It was the defense and the addition of our new defensive coordinator. We're a different team this year. We got a chance to do some great things. And we'll look to go get another big win next week against Boise State. Let's wrap this up now with some recruiting as we have 2 new commits. Out of Florida, it's Jaden Jordan, the 2-star corner who is 5'11", 171. And despite being a smaller corner, he does tackle pretty well, but press coverage is not going to be his strength. It might take him a while to develop, but I see him as a future starter at some point. Then there's Maurice Collins, whom I think could be a starter sooner than later. I'd compare his skill set to Jared Merritt, who started for us for a number of years, but never really realized his potential. I hope that Collins can, because he's a very balanced player that can do a lot. As far as the top of the board, it's going to be a process that I hope that we can take to the offseason and maybe land one of the top prospects. The last thing today, many of you have wondered about Jared Merritt and why he wasn't included at all in the recruiting video, because obviously he was the first draft pick in Kalispell history. And here's how his story goes. He was a 6th-round selection by the Washington Redskins. Now, Merritt is definitely a developmental prospect, and he started out pretty slow in the off-season workouts and getting into training camp. And as he was starting to understand the defense a little bit better, he suffered a torn bicep before the first preseason game even happened, so he's on injured reserve, and he will not play his rookie season. Now that will end this episode. I hope you all enjoyed it, because I sure did. Please leave a like if you enjoyed the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Brandon Warren's a freshman. You don't want to miss the rest of his career. Have a great weekend, everybody, and I will see you again soon.